this keep happening? The Chiefs continue to get banged up at the skill positions, most recently with Rashee Rice. We will discuss how everything looks for the Kansas City Chiefs right now and where the hell this team goes from here. I got some ideas for Andy Reid and Brett Veach. We'll examine here in just a moment. Before we do, in the lead up to Monday night's game between the Chiefs and Saints, we are in a sub-battle with our Saints channel, hosted by Trace Gerard. Trace, great guy, great friend, but I got to tell you, his team is a fraud. That fan base is a joke. We need to show them who's boss. We need to not only beat the Saints on the football field, but we need to beat them off the football field as well. Sub it up, sub for dubs. Let's show why we have the best fans in the National Football League. Subscribe now for daily Chiefs coverage right here on the Chiefs Report. Let's beat Saints now. All right, so here's the key Chiefs injuries, where things are at the moment for the Kansas City Chiefs. Marquise Brown with a shoulder injury. He is on IR. He is not expected to be back until probably January, probably come playoff time with that injury that he suffered that he had surgery on. Clyde Edwards-Helaire at the running back position with an illness is on the non-football injury list, and there's no sign of CEH making a return to the football field anytime soon. Isiah Pacheco with the lower leg injury. He is on IR. He's not expected to be back for about the next somewhere 4 to 7 weeks, somewhere in that range. And then you got Rashee Rice, who is out. And at the time of this recording, it looks like it could be a while before Rashee Rice makes a return, if he makes a return at all with that knee injury. So what have the Chiefs done since then? Well, Juju Smith-Schuster was brought back after being released by the New England Patriots. Remember, he was a part of a Chiefs Super Bowl just a couple of years ago and was the replacement of Marquise Brown on the roster. We've seen some flashes from Juju so far this season, but not much consistency just yet. Then Samaje Perine was brought in as the replacement for Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And Perine, the role that's been carved out for him is more so in the passing game. Carson Steel in the first 2 games since Pacheco went down has been your bell cow for the most part. Kareem Hunt's kind of your short yardage back. And then Perine's role is as kind of that third down receiving back. Kareem Hunt was brought in for Isiah Pacheco and had a solid game this past week against the LA Chargers, and hopefully there's more to come from him. And then the replacement for Rashee Rice is still TBD. I would expect the Chiefs to make a roster move of some sorts, whether it's signing somebody or a trade, whatever it may be. When we know, you will know here on the Chiefs Report, and we'll keep you posted there. So far, through the first 4 games, with where the Chiefs are at with these injuries, credit where credit's due. Andy and company have done a very good job to manage to get through each of these individual situations. But now the question becomes, is it too much? Is it too much to overcome? Eventually, when injuries pile up, there is a point when enough is enough, that you can't overcome all of it. This team's still 4-0. Have they reached that point? I don't think so. But it's going to take some maneuvering. The Chiefs have some work to do to get through this situation they're in right now. Are the Chiefs still the team to beat in the National Football League? Has that changed with the injuries, or are they still the team? Type Y for yes, N for no. Weigh in. Let us know in the comments section. Next man up. Where do the Chiefs go from here with their injuries? Let's start with the obvious one, and that is Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce, arguably the greatest tight end to ever play American tackle football. And we saw Travis Kelce not look that good the first few weeks of the season. And then last week against the LA Chargers was a breakthrough performance. And what the Chiefs need to see from Travis Kelce is more of what we saw last week. We need to see that consistency. Remember the haters and the naysayers, people like Todd McShay, that fraud was saying that Travis Kelce was out of shape, that he's lost a step in all this. And I didn't believe that for a second. I think that he's been double-teamed, he's triple-teamed, but the Chiefs are going to have to find ways to work around that, whether that's using Noah Gray or Jared Wiley as a decoy or trying to get more creative. They're going to need to find ways to get Kelce more involved, and that's the easiest solution. That's the easiest fix with where these injuries are at is more Travis Kelce. If Travis Kelce can step up, then you feel a lot better about the situation if you're Kansas City. Xavier Worthy. I love me some Xavier Worthy, but here's the thing when it comes to Xavier Worthy. What we've seen so far in the first few weeks is that he has been a gadget player, if we're going to be frank with you. Now, to the Chiefs' credit, they've used him effectively as a gadget player. We saw the long touchdown catch he had against the Chargers. We know about the reverse that he had week 1 against the Baltimore Ravens. They've done a good job of working with that. But now that you don't have Rashee Rice there, this is where things change for Kansas City. Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy are totally opposite, different type of receivers. Rashee Rice is a pure possession receiver. Xavier Worthy is your deep threat, your speed guy. And basically what's going to have to change now is, yes, you still want Xavier Worthy to be that deep threat and to be able to push the football down the field and be explosive with him. You still want that to happen. But what the Chiefs need now from Xavier Worthy is, all right, can you give us a little bit of what Rashee did? Can we count on you to get 10 yards? Can we count on you to get 12, 15? Keep the chains moving. 17 yards of reception's nice, but I need those targets. I need those receptions to come up. The average might come down as a result, but I'll take it. I will take that from Xavier Worthy. Just find ways to kind of put him in that Rashee Rice role to an extent, but don't necessarily take away the deep threat ability. Andy Reid and company's got to find that balance to work with Xavier Worthy there. Do you believe in Xavier Worthy? Is he worthy? Weigh in, let us know. Type B for believe, D for don't. Chime in right now. Speaking of Xavier Worthy, we have his jerseys on sale at chatsports.com/worthy. Got the home red, got the road white, and because I am such a nice individual, I am offering you free shipping as well. So what are you waiting for? Get your Xavier Worthy jerseys on sale now at chatsports.com/worthy. No better time to get these than right in the middle of his rookie season, folks. The link is in the comments and description of today's video, chatsports.com/worthy. We also have other Chiefs gear that you can see for yourself. Go to that link, chatsports.com/worthy, to get yours today. Carson Steel, the unsung hero of the offseason, an undrafted free agent out of UCLA. Honestly, there was no expectations at all for Carson Steel entering training camp, and then he shocked the world and balled out. Looked very good in the preseason, ended up making the roster. And with the injuries that occurred, with what happened to Pacheco, with not having Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Carson Steel was the next man up, and he got the start the past 2 games. But the problem for Carson Steel has been protecting the football. In the first 4 games, he's already fumbled it twice. And as a result, Carson Steel got benched in that game against the Chargers, and we hardly heard from him again in that game against L.A. We know that Carson Steel can be a solid running back. We saw what he did in Atlanta, getting 4 and 5 yards to carry. Sure, he's not going to be the burner. You're not going to see him go off for a 60 or 70-yard touchdown run, but that's okay. I don't need that from him. I just need him to be consistent, go get me 4 and 5 yards at a time, and protect the dang football. The easiest way to get benched as a rookie is turning it over. Carson Steel, hopefully he's learned that lesson. I hope that's the case, that Carson Steel has figured that out. I am of the belief, I was talking to my buddy Jeffrey Cooperstein about this the other day, fumbling is a choice. It is. Protect the football. Whatever you got to do. I remember back in the day when I was playing Pop Warner football, you know what our coaches would do if we were having turnover issues? They'd make us go sleep with the football in bed. Protect the football. Learn to protect that thing. Carson Steel, sleep with the football. Do whatever you need to do, because that is the only thing holding you back. It literally is the only thing holding this guy back is the fumbles. He's got to do a better job. Last on our list on the next man up approach for the Kansas City Chiefs, Kareem Hunt. I like what I saw from Kareem Hunt last week against the Chargers. I was pleasantly surprised. And the thing that surprised me the most was he showed some burst. He looked fresh. He looked rested in that game against the Chargers after not playing since last season. He showed some speed that we haven't seen from Kareem Hunt in years. I hope it wasn't a one-hit wonder, like that song All-Star, but it needs to continue. I want to see more of that. If Kareem Hunt can do what he did against the Chargers every single week, that'll work. That'll cook with some bacon grease. If Kareem Hunt can continue like that and be a difference maker, then watch out. You look at the upcoming schedule for the Kansas City Chiefs, and it doesn't get any easier. The Saints have looked very good to start off the season. That's a Monday night primetime game. You get a much-needed bye week. Hopefully these guys can freshen up, get healthy. Then you take on a San Francisco 49ers team off the bye week on the road. We know Andy's the best when it comes off of a bye week, but that Niners team, they haven't looked great. You know that they're going to want that one, want their revenge from the Super Bowl. You play at the Raiders, and the Raiders got all sorts of problems right now, but it's still a divisional game, still a rivalry game on the road. You take on the Bucs on Monday Night Football. Baker Mayfield's balling out. Big Tex is all excited about that, of what he's seen from Baker Mayfield to start the season. And then you take on another divisional opponent, the Denver Broncos, and then you play the Bills after that. And maybe by the time we get to that Bills game, we're talking about Pacheco making his return, maybe a little sooner than that. But the reality is, the truth of the matter for this Chiefs team, as you go through these next stretch of games, number one, stay healthy. Cannot afford any more injuries whatsoever to key players. That's number one. But number two, although you have some temporary solutions at the moment, if you're Brett Veach, if you're Andy Reid, don't be afraid to be aggressive. If you're aggressive and find those pieces and put this team back on track, this team's going to be just fine. You get through this situation, you get Pacheco back, you eventually get Hollywood Brown back, and everything can be A-okay. What will be the Chiefs' final record this season? How will it shake out? Weigh in. Let us know in the comments section. Subscribe now to the Kansas City Chiefs Report for continuing Chiefs coverage. I'm Tyler Jones. We'll see you next time.